acknowledge all First Nations people because we all walking together, no matter where we come from or no matter what tribe. But I'd like to acknowledge each and every one of you. And Mr. Singh, wow, I'm in awe of you and what you've done, and creating another voice for our people to help people make a decision, perhaps, or to think about it, which is all I can ever ask. As somebody who was born in this country and not considered human until we had a referendum in '67, and I was almost 10 years old at that time. It's such an important, movement forward for all of us. So, we have to acknowledge land's history, always together, yesterday's and tomorrow's. Warren is the word that we use for welcome, and, means so much more. It means that I see you and that my soul recognises you, so it kind of makes us like kin, because you've come into my home, you're part of my family now. I think Warren is such a better word than just saying hello or good morning or all those sort of things, and I really love everybody from this day forward. Please greeting somebody and saying Warren means that my heart and my soul recognises you now, and we have this great connection. So on behalf of my ancestors again, let's walk together. Let's, provide this country with the proper voice, a traditional voice, in recognition of our 60,000 years on this land, but also to have a say in moving forward and walking together as a nation, a beautiful young nation that will put the rest of the world to shame with the way that we work together. So Warren, to review, did you draw down me? Thank you so much.
That was beautiful. And I'd like to acknowledge all people and ancestors, past, present and emerging, but also all our ancestors, because they've all contributed to us and who we are. And I work, with support. Now, we are inviting my friend, the Lord Mayor of Parramatta, the Lord Mayor himself, Councillor Vichar as well.
Friends, I acknowledge these lands of the traditional meeting place where the Barramundi people of the Direct clan have gathered for more than 50,000 years, and I pay my respect to their age and culture and their elders past, present and emerging. And can I acknowledge the Deputy Lord Mayor, Councillor Procey, my friend. And also, ladies and gentlemen, can I also acknowledge former councillors Phil Russo and Pam Smith, who have served in Gold before I got here. At last but not least, our special guest, Amar Singh, founder of the Turbans for Australia and the 2023 Australian Local Hero of the Year. Amar has just finished a 2-month, 25,000-kilometre road trip from Sydney to Darwin and back again in a very colourful ute, driving and talking with people about the Yes to the Voice referendum campaign. Amar, welcome to the city of Parramatta. We are home to people from many places and walks of life. Our great city continues to be a wonderful place for all people to live, play, work and invest. The city of Parramatta is committed to First Nations people to listening to stories and lived experiences. We are taking action to improve those lives and of those who are rooted here in this place. In March last year, Council resolved to support the constitutional recognition for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and key principles of the Uluru Statement from the Heart. And on July 10 of this year, Council resolved to support the Voice to Parliament. We agreed to promote respectful and constructive dialogue in the lead up to the referendum, recognising the diversity of views of the voice within our community. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to digress from this speech because it just carries on with what we've all heard before. But what we have to do as a community who support the voice is to really go out there and sell it to the community. And this is our job. And I was at a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I said to the meeting I was at, I said, I'm the son of migrants who migrated here. My parents came here in 1961. They came from Lebanon, from Beirut to Parramatta, and they're still here, or they're no longer with us now. But I made the point there, I said, if I'm recognising the Constitution that the First Nations people are, how fair is that? They've been here for 65,000 years, we've been here for 235 years. And we just basically came in, took their lands off them, and we brought the diseases, like what Mr. Keating said back in 1992. We brought the diseases, we brought the alcohol, we brought the problems with it. What we have to do as a community, and each and every one of us, we've got 2 weeks left, we have to go out there and convince the migrant communities especially, is what we have to do this. I'm very lucky that I'm recognised in the Constitution, but they're not. Why should I be recognised when I've only been here for 60 odd years, 61 years, when my parents have been here for 62 years? They've been here for 65,000 years. It's fair and unjust. And what we have to do as a community is go out there and do this, sell this to the community, don't listen to the No campaign, not argue with them, just respectfully disagree with them. Hopefully it doesn't get up on the 14th of October next week. There's a lot to do, still 2 weeks to go. Plenty of more people we can convince, plenty more people we can talk to, door knocking, letterboxing, campaigning with our friends, letting the communities know. But it's a very important part because, like the Prime Minister said, if it doesn't happen now, when is it going to happen? I'm 61. I probably won't see this. I probably won't live until the next Prime Minister comes along and tries to legislate this. So it is simple. It's an advice to an advisory committee to advise the Parliament. It happens every day to council. I praise even myself on council. We have advisory committees who advise us from open space, roads and rubbish, ATSIC, community services. They advise us. We don't necessarily take the advice they give us, but we take that advice because they know best. And this is basically what all the Prime Minister is doing. He's saying to the people, one, recognise First Nations people, that's a given. It's not rocket science to recognise that. The second thing is to advise the Parliament of the day of what we should be doing and how to go about it, and elected by them and themselves. So this is not hard, ladies and gentlemen, but the trouble is convincing most Australians to do this, and this is going to be the hard part of all of us, everyone in this room, not just councillors, state and federal members, not up to Donna and Andrew and the councillors and myself. It's up to everybody to go out there and speak to your communities, wherever you go, wherever you see, family, friends, let them know this is important because the line I'm pushing, ladies and gentlemen, is if it doesn't happen now, like the Prime Minister said, when is it going to happen? So on that note, I thank you very much. Sorry, I drifted off.
We love our Lord. The next speaker on the list is Andrew Charlton, but I don't see him here. And he is one of the biggest supporters of Amar Singh. And it would have been great if he probably has been caught up somewhere, which is unfortunate. And one after him is Vichar. And he's speaking for Desi's for...
Yes.
Yes. Yes. The voice of young people and representing, like Pierre said, our migrant community. And thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks, folks. Thanks for having us here. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands we're on, the grammatical people of the Darug Nation, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'd like to acknowledge you, Auntie Kerry, for the warm Warramie, and also pay my respects to all other Aboriginal elders in the room. So, as we know, this is a landmark moment in Australian history. And when we consider it, I think, more deeply, it is fundamentally a moment about listening, connection, and conversation. I think the Uluru Statement from the Heart shows us the way in this regard. It sprang out of many, many thousands of deep, deliberative conversations between Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Even the language to be inserted into the Constitution, if we get a yes vote, came out of lots of discussion, lots of careful discussion amongst lawyers, amongst politicians, amongst leaders in the community. It came out of conversations. And now the baton has it's been passed to all of us, right, as the Australian people. And at the core of this campaign, we're trying to influence hearts and lives through conversations. We're doing this in living rooms, we're doing this in shops, we're doing this in community centres, all over the place. And Amar Bai's journey, covering 20,000 plus kilometres, the span of this continent, non-stop for 2 months, to me it really exemplifies this spirit of having conversation, of building connection amongst each other. This is truly what it's about. I'd like to say a few words, Amar, about how inspiring your efforts have been for us at Desi's for Yes. Because when we started this campaign as a group of South Asian Australian volunteers, we were actually quite worried about the pushback we might get, the criticism we might get, even the abuse that we might get from all quarters. It takes a lot of courage to throw caution in the wind, to step into the limelight, to speak from the heart, to speak with conviction about an issue that is close to all of our hearts, but in the midst of a quite heated, divisive, perhaps vitriolic debate. And Amar's really led the way in that regard. He's been the face nationally, and he's had those conversations. And so for younger people like myself and all of the Daisies team, like seeing him has given us a lot of inspiration and confidence. So I really thank you, Amar, for doing that. We created Daisies for Yes to deepen the understanding and engagement in this referendum and with the Uluru Statement from the Heart amongst South Asian diaspora communities. The idea is to get, when people go on the 14th to the ballot box, they vote in an informed manner and they vote yes. And so just a little bit about what we've been doing. We've reached something like 15,000 people and had over 100,000 impressions on social media through our chai chats and a whole range of other things. We've also done a lot of engagement in diaspora media, some of it in language, and I think that's a really important part of this campaign. And lastly, there'll be over 1,000 people that will have attended our community conversations, again, in language, a lot of them in language, by the time we come to this referendum. And the idea, that the message that we're trying to sell is that we need to step up. As the Mayor said, we all need to step up and have as many conversations as we can. And just to finish off, I want to say for us, this is a no-brainer, right? For all of us, this is a no-brainer. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are calling for constitutional recognition. They're calling for an enshrined voice. And after 65,000 years of continuous civilization on this country and the last 200 years of dispossession, like, honestly, it is a very, very modest request, and there's no reason why we should be saying no. And really for us as migrants, it's important to acknowledge that wherever we've come from, and whenever we've come, we're living, we're praying, we're working, we're raising our kids on land that was stolen, and so we actually have a duty to do the right thing and get this over the line. But it's not just a duty, it's actually an opportunity. If we say we're South Asian Australians, or we're Indian Australians, or Pakistani Australians, what does that Australian part of the equation mean? Actually, it means stepping up right now, in this moment, and doing the right thing, and making sure we get this over the line in 2 weeks. And then whatever comes beyond, right? So we're here, we're going to continue having as many conversations as possible in the next 2 weeks, and let's just get this done, guys. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I know it seems now, we've all been waiting to hear from I've known him since during the pandemic when he fed so many people who were hungry in Harrison Park. It was my pleasure to be able to help them to find somewhere to set up their meals for mates, which has moved on from or maybe all in parallel to Turban to Australia, and now they're in this fabulous big building down in Clyde, putting together hampers for people. And you probably all know, but I'm going to say it anyway, this is a man who is selfless. You give to your community, your Indian community, and now you're giving to the Indigenous community and the wider Australian community with your efforts with the Yes campaign. Please welcome Amar Singh.
Well, g'day. I too want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, and any of us are present here today. Thank you for welcoming us on your land. I mean, what a great country we have here, you know. It's given us everything, like the Lord Mayor said. His parents arrived as migrants for a better future. And look, a child of a migrant is the Lord Mayor leading our city today. Many of us have come, you know, some at a later age, some at an early age, some born here. Well, why don't I do this? You know, I'm a simple guy, like the Honourable Deputy Lord Mayor said. We just do work. What's needed in our community to help people out. But this is the time. As Australians, we need to roll up our sleeves and help our mates. Because this is once in a historic moment, once in a lifetime for many of us and even future generations. Because if this referendum doesn't get up now, which government is going to be brave enough to put a ban on? Right? So what do we have to lose? Everything. What have the Indigenous community lost? Everything. They've lost their language, they've lost their culture, they've lost their families, they've lost their women to rape, others to genocide, and yet we're still thinking, should we say yes or no? I mean, right. What happened to us as human beings? You know, 12 months ago we were all hashtagging, we're in this together. And now it's all just us and them and be human. You know, I've driven around the country, many parts I've never been to before in my 25 years in Australia. For the welcome I've got from people, from Indigenous leaders, literally tears in their eyes. Thank you for doing it for our home. They didn't know me from who I was, and many people are shocked. Oh, that's a deadly van, brother. What are you doing with it? I said, I'm driving around the country, which you'll get to see in a minute. For me, Auntie Kathy from Innovest, I saw the Vichar Eagle at Addy Road Entry, which is one of our charity partners in Marrickville. I said, I need that. So she put me in touch with Auntie Kathy. And she drew it for me, and then another one on the front of the van, which is an Indigenous man. I wanted a hunting one. She goes, no, I'm going to have him throw the spear upwards and onwards. That's what your journey is for the nation. I mean, these are very wise people. What do we know about Indigenous culture? The didgeridoo, clapping sticks, leading smoking ceremony. Come on. 65,000 years of culture. We've got a million more things. But we just brush it aside. It's not needed. This is the time to recognise that opportunity. And I think we're doing it for the 97% of us. Indigenous people are only 3% of the society, our population. What this yes vote is for Australia to be a better place. The Australia that we found today, what we're going to give to our next generation. For young people to take in charge of this. I'm really proud of this for Australia. And many other young people have met along the journey. 18-year-olds saying, this is the first time I'm voting, and I'm proud that I'm voting in a referendum, not on a political thing. Because this is above politics. This is not about Labour, Liberals, Greens and X, Y, Z. This is about human beings. How we treat our mates. This is a test for us as human beings. So please, vote yes. And all of you, in these wonderful t-shirts, to spare you this morning today for me, thank you for all the work you do. This is very important. You know, this election is going to be one on you. This referendum is all about you, how you go talk to people. Research shows people that trust you, know you personally, will listen to your words, listen to your advice. So what you're doing, it might seem repetitive and saying the same things again and again, but 14th of October, when the yes vote gets up, we are going to be a better nation. A nation that accepts everyone, from India, China, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Africa, but also the First Nation people who were here before us. So they always just get pushed aside. My journey that started, you know, from the bushfires, leading our Turbans for Australia charity, COVID, you know, like the Deputy Lord Mayor said, working with people. Many of you have come and volunteered with us. We serve everyone and anyone. There's no fake thing. There's no us and them. It's all about our community. Who needs help? And again, this is what I see the referendum do. It's about us. What do we want the nation to see? What's the reflection in the middle, like Noel Pearson said? Right? What are you going to be on the 15th? Have you done enough? And just God forbid, if they know what gets up. I think we are telling the First Nations people of our nation that your pain, your misery wasn't enough. It didn't meet the benchmark, and that really bothers me. Because you know what, we shouldn't be judging them on their pain. The journey that started from Sydney, right around Australia, 25,000 k's. The longest stretch I did was from Karratha to Perth, 1,520 k's in 17 hours. It was just crazy. Just stop for fuel for 2 minutes, then back in the van and get going. But you know, some of those drives were long and tough. I knew that already. our team worked on that, including Daisy from Yes, Kushal, who's been supporting Tennessee, Harshindran from Melbourne, she's come here. We knew it's going to be a tough gig, and it was. Let me tell you that there were times I was thinking, what am I doing this? I could be just sitting on my backside, but that's not what we do as players. We roll up our sleeves and go. For me to be the local hero this year and last year's Parramatta Citizen of the Year, I said I have a responsibility to take a side with the right, with the justice, and stand up for our First Nations people. So right now, we're at a very pivotal moment in our history. We take the right turn or the wrong turn. Because there's no U-turn from there. If you go wrong, it will never happen. Right now, each one of us must talk to more people, must engage community. And one thing about language, it's very important. So if you speak another language, please talk to people in your language, use social media, because right now we're up against the evil of social media as well. I can be Samantha or Charlie on social media and say the ugliest things, right? In person, I wouldn't dare to, but that's the bad part of social media. And all of you incredible people, you have real following, real friends, real people that watch and see what you do. Please use that, because you might not be able to get 1,000 people, but one post on your social media can. And sharing it in the language you speak is very important. Because language will resonate with people. When we say hello, like Nancy said before, that warmth in the heart is what matters. That's what language brings to us. So guys, we have our work cut out for us. I'm back in Sydney now, we're going to be doing more events, but I need your support on this. Not for me, not for the council, not for the ministers, not for the PM. The PM has done the right thing by us. You know, I heard Kerry O'Brien speak yesterday in Wollongong. He said, Albo led into the election with his chin and announcing the referendum. Right? What do we have to do? Just declare yes. Write a yes. That's all we have to do. He led an election campaign on this promise. And what a great bloke he is. Let's, you know, give him the respect he deserves, but also give the respect to our First Nations. So right now, our work is cut out for us, and I ask each and every one of you, please keep door knocking, putting the leaflets out when you go shopping, please wear your yes just, because this is another thing. People will come up and talk to you. And I've had so many people come up and say, thank you for doing this. I'm doing it for me. What Australia I want to see. What Australia we want to see. What Australia kids need to see. So, we can all do our bit, but I ask you, please keep going at it. And more importantly, so this is the right thing to do. It's not going to take your land, it's not going to take your businesses. We all have that, and the No campaign, I think, is below the belt. Honestly speaking, I'm quite disgusted at the way they go about things. It should be, that's fine, the No voters are okay, but we have a work cut out on the people who are sitting on the fence. So that's what we can bring over, and this is where it's going to be won. So guys, thank you for coming out today. Thank you for giving me your time and your blessings. I want to hear you say one word. What's the word?
Yes!
A bit louder. Come on,
Yes!
Thank you.
Thank you, Amar. That was fantastic. I'm not going to do that. I'd like to thank the Lord Mayor for his time and words, Terry and I'm sorry. Today has been fabulous. It's been a meeting of like-minded people, and it's gatherings like this that bring together people who don't know each other. So I would encourage you all to talk to each other, introduce yourselves to people who you don't know, and please eat
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, can we all get together and do a photo?
Yes. We're going to get a group photo.
We're about else you want us to stand?
All right, mates. Well done, Don. It's great. Either.
Before people go.
Yes, and let us do the city photos.
The band too.
Yeah, let's do one.
Yeah, before people go, we should probably get some photos with the band what's downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
No, you are not leaving this room until we eat it.
The photos here first, then we'll work on the band.
Yeah, let him. We'll all go together, shall we?
Yeah, but we don't want to, just do some here, and then we'll wander downstairs.
We'll make sure no one mistakes.
Fill it up with sweets.
Nice to see you.
Great speech, yeah? Well, I love how you made the family connection.
Yes,
You've got
yeah.
family